So in the session we are going to see unit 3. Okay. Unit 3 la servlet first question servlet architecture is important in unit 3. Okay. It's our life cycle and life cycle of servlet. These two questions followed by this. They are also asked Apache Tomcat installation. Already we have seen in our college live demo how to install Tomcat and how to configure it. Okay. That is important. Another important one is JDBC. Okay, you have to explain the architecture also as well as the, okay, in JDBC important one is architecture is important. Okay, architecture as also what are the ODBC bridge driver types and followed by the program. So these are the important in this unit 3. Okay. Yeah, கேக்குதாமா? Audible இருக்கா?
இருக்குங்க சார்.
Okay, so now we will see a session on this JDBC. Okay, I will share screen share பண்றேன். Visible இருக்கா பாத்து. Screen தெரியுதா?
தெரியுது சார்.
Okay.
தெரியுதுங்க சார்.
ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாமா?
தெரியுது சார்.
Okay, you can start now.
Okay, sir. I'm going to deliver a webinar on the topic Unit 3 Server-Side Programming. In that, today we're going to see about different modules called JDBC. The objectives are introduction about JDBC API, JDBC architecture, and then we want to know understand the design of JDBC API. So when we take about the design of JDBC, there are different classes and relations among them. The introduction is JDBC basically stands for Java Database Connectivity. It is used for accessing database from Java application. And when we know that Java is very standardized programming language, but there are many versions in the database available. So we need to have a way for JDBC or Java application to make contact with databases. JDBC, we know that supported for many database accessing, and it is supported by standardized programming language called Java. Program developed in that basically a platform independent or vendor independent. This is one of the basic feature of Java or JDBC. Next slide, sir. Sir, we know that when we write Java application, it write once, compile once, and run everywhere. JDBC supports a wide level of portability. JDBC provides interfaces that are compatible with Java applications. Next slide, sir. The next topic in that is components and specification of JDBC. There are 4 main components in JDBC. The first one is JDBC API. JDBC API is nothing but JDBC provides a standard API for Java developers and makes it possible to write database applications. Our next one is JDBC Driver Manager. JDBC Driver Manager provides the bridge between the database and the Java worlds. The next one is JDBC TechSuite. It usually used to test the operation being performed by JDBC driver. The next one is JDBC ODBC bridge. Before the JDBC exit, we have a open database connectivity called as Open Database Connectivity API. Before the existence of JDBC, we have the ODBC. It is mainly for access relational database. If you're working with old version, we want to install the ODBC driver, and this JDBC talk to ODBC, you can get connected to databases. It is act as a bridge between that. But nowadays, ODBC is not appropriate for direct use from the Java programming language because ODBC uses C interfaces, JDBC uses Java methodology. There are many drawbacks occurs during this. There are security, implementation, robustness, automatic portability. The second one is specification of JDBC. There are different versions in JDBC. The first one is JDBC 1.0. It provides basic functionality of JDBC. Next one is JDBC 2.0. It provides JDBC API. The JDBC API nothing but JDBC provides a standard API for Java developers and makes it possible to write database applications. Next one is JDBC 3.0. It provides classes and interfaces and in two packages. Next one is JDBC 4.0. It provides so many extra features like auto downloading of the driver interface. The driver is nothing but it acts as interfaces or bridge between client and the database. The next topic is JDBC architecture. Let us see about JDBC architecture. In the diagram, we see that applications, writing the Java application. Sir, see diagram show things. Writing the Java application. Java core calls JDBC library. The JDBC loads a driver. The driver talks to a particular database. If there are more than one driver, then it can be a possibility for more than one database. There are different drivers. There are four different drivers in JDBC. Type 1 is bridge driver, type 2 is native driver, type 3 is middleware driver, and type 4 is pure Java driver. So next slide. Next slide. Sir. Type 1 driver is bridge driver. The type 1 driver is nothing but actually uses a bridging technology. It requires installation configuration on client machines. Nowadays, this is not good for the web. It is only experimental uses. Next slide, sir. The main advantages of type 1 driver is the installation as well as easiest to use as compared the all other driver. Connect to almost any databases on any system for which ODBC driver is installed. The disadvantages are the ODBC driver needs to be installed on the client machine. It is not a purely platform independent because it's used ODBC, which is depends on native libraries of the operating system on client machine. Not suitable for applets because the ODBC driver needs to be installed on the client machine. Next one is type 2 driver. Sir, type 2 driver slide, sir. Sir, type 2 driver slide. Type 2 driver or normally as native API driver, it normally converts JDBC function calls to the C or C++ calls. It also requires installation on configuration on client machine used to existing CLI libraries, usually not thread safe. So next slide, sir. The advantages of type 2 driver is there is no implementation of JDBC ODBC bridge. So it's faster than a type 1 driver. Hence, the performance is better as compared to the type 1 driver. The disadvantages are on the client machine required the extra installation because this driver uses a vendor client libraries. The client-side software needed so cannot use such type of driver in the web-based application. Not all databases have the client-side library. This driver supports all Java applications except applets. Next one is type 3 drivers. It calls middleware server usually on database host. It is very flexible, allows access to multiple databases using one driver. Only need to download one driver, but it's another server application to install and maintain. The advantages of type 3 driver are there is no need for the vendor database library on the client machine because the middleware is database independent and it communicates with client. Type 3 driver can be used in any web application as well as the internet also because there is no any software requirement client side. A single driver can handle any databases at the client side, so there is no need a separate driver for each database. The middleware server can also provide the typical services such as connections, auditing, load balancing, logging, etc. Disadvantages are an extra layer added may be time consuming. At the middleware develop the database, specific coding may be increased complexity. The next one is type 4 driver. Nowadays, very popularly used one, it is 100% pure Java. Use Java networking libraries to talk directly to database engines. The main disadvantages of this are need to download a new driver for each database engine. Example, Oracle and MySQL. This is all about the JDBC. Sir? Sir, JDBC finish பண்ணிட்டேன் sir. The next topic we are going to see about is how to install and configure Apache Tomcat server. Before installing Tomcat, make sure JDK get installed and configured. If don't, initially we want to install the JDK. Once you have JDK, just go ahead to list out Tomcat. In Google search engine, search for Apache Tomcat. Now we get Tomcat.apache. In the left menu, we know they are download session. Click down the latest version of Tomcat server. Scroll down, download based on the Windows 32 bits and 64 bits. Click that. Go to download folder, open Tomcat installer. Next slide, sir. Click on next button to proceed the installation process. And then click agree to continue. After this, select all components and click next button to continue. Set the tower to install and click next and then specify the bar to the Java environment JIE. If we have JDK installed, you can find out the path and then click next. Click next button to convenience. Now choose a port number on which you want to run the Tomcat server. Tomcat server. Tomcat uses a port number 8080 as its default value, and I have a username, password, and now click on the next button. This window asks for the location of the installed Java virtual machine. Browse the location of the JRE folder and click on the install button. This will install the Apache Tomcat at the specified location. The Apache is get installed. After completion of installation, click on finish button. After successfully installing a Tomcat, a short icon to start the Tomcat server appears in the icon tray of the taskbar. This is all about the installation of the Tomcat server. That's all, sir.
Okay. Okay. Finished, huh?
That's all, sir. Finish.
Okay. Important points to be noted in this installation is, okay, so whenever you install Apache Tomcat server, so first you have to install, before installing, you have to check with the Java path. Okay, first you have to install Java. So either you can choose in this Java version 1.8 or above. Okay, 1.8 or 8.0 or above. If Java is installed, means automatically okay, JDK and JRE file will be installed in this. Okay, and then once again, if you click on agree, means then it asks, in this you can see all the components you can select. Okay, so whether you want it to start menu or documentation, examples, web apps is important. Okay, if you don't want it, you can just uncheck and click. Okay, so now you have to select the location. So Tomcat 5.5 or greater versions. Okay, so now we can choose in this important thing in this is, whenever you choose the hypertext transfer protocol port number, HTTP port number, you have to choose 8080 as a default port number. So give the username and password. So if you give username and password, means every time it will ask you, whenever you log into your Tomcat server, it asks whenever to engine to start. Okay, Tomcat engine to start, it asks for the username and password before starting. Okay, you can choose whatever port number you want. Okay, if you choose the port number only, it will be run on the Tomcat server. Okay, that is very important. Choose as 8080. That is default. So next you have to choose. Already I told you, Java should be installed on your machine. Okay, 64-bit machine. Same thing, JRE 8. Okay, if you are using 8 or above, you can choose program files Java. You have to set the path. The Java path, you have to place it under the shortcut in your JVM. Okay, the Java virtual machine path selection. You have to choose the corresponding path. Then only it will be installed. If you don't have Java, means you get a error. Okay, usually you get a error in this. And then next one is after this, it will install the Apache will be getting installed, and after that you can click finish. After successful installation, you can see the small icon on the available on the right hand side of the window. Okay, so right hand side of the windows you can see this server. Whenever you want to start this engine, okay, you can start, or otherwise you stop the engine. Then I can. So Tomcat is also it is okay. So like normally you can install this, or VirtualBox you can also install the VirtualBox also you can put the Tomcat. It is pre-defined. Okay, pre-defined in the VirtualBox. Okay, so after this okay, or otherwise you can see in if you choose in the example. Okay, example also you can see. Exam 14 Tomcat is already pre-installed. Okay, so it will be default. Whenever Java and Tomcat Java is installed, automatically if you run exam, this Tomcat will be installed and it will be configured. So whenever you want to run, if you run Tomcat, if you want to run this Tomcat on local port, means you have to give this extension. Localhost. Hello. Mute பண்ணுங்க participants mute பண்ணுங்க. Okay, if you want to get the ஒண்ணு sound வந்து அதான் சொன்னேன். Okay, so if you want to put it on the local host, means just you have to share it at 8080. So local host 8080 போட்டு நீங்க check பண்ணிக்கலாம். Okay, so whether Tomcat is there or not. Or just now போடுறேன். Okay, so local host 8080 போட்டு you can check it and see. In my system, if it is there, it will show. Otherwise, you get an error. Okay, you can check it. You can check it with your system. So localhost 8080. If it is configured, means it will be configured. For my system, it is not configured. Okay, so it will get an error. Just I will show it on my browser. Okay, connect ஆகாது. ஏன்னா வந்து there is no Tomcat server installed in this. Okay, so you get like this. Okay, if it is a Tomcat is installed on your localhost, means you get a connection has been established. Okay, so this is one thing important question in Unit 3. Coming to the JDBC, they will ask you to write a program. Okay, so important thing is architecture is இதுல வந்து JDBC ல எப்படி கனெக்ஷன் எஸ்டாப்லிஷ் பண்ணனும்னா முதல்ல வந்து எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியணும். Okay, எப்படி எஸ்டாப்லிஷ் பண்ணனும். Okay, how do you establish the connection means? So just I will show you the step. Okay, so straight away you can go to this control panel. Okay, already Kalayvani would have told this. Okay, control panel. In this control panel, go to this administrative tools. Okay, under this administrative tools, you can find object database connectivity. ODBC no ஒரு இது இருக்கும். ODBC data source. You can choose either 32-bit or 64-bit based upon your operating system. Okay, ODBC data sources. So in this sources, you can add the backend part. Okay, so if MS Access, okay, so already here MS Access add பண்ணிருக்கேன். Okay, so it is inbuilt. If you want to add MySQL, means go to this. You can see SQL server. இந்த இடத்துல இருக்கும் பாரு SQL server. So connecting the front end and back end. So I have a SQL server in my machine. Okay, now I want to add SQL server connecting the front end with the back end. Okay, then I have to choose this SQL server and click on finish. Okay, then it will ask the name description. Okay, so just give the name description server. Okay, server means SQL server open pannikina. Okay, when you start SQL server, it will ask you where is the server. Okay, where is the location of the server. Okay, so that location you have to, okay, SQL server 2000 or 2012 or any version, you have to give the location. So where it has been, the server the server. Okay, that is URL you have to give the SQL Server engine. So SQL Server start பண்ணாலே உங்களுக்கு வரும் ஒரு URL வரும். So அந்த URL இந்த இடத்துல கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா SQL Server will be connected in it. Okay, connected in it system defaultly, and then later on it will be added to the ODBC. Okay, so if this is established, means the connection between the front end and back end will be automatically established. Okay, the front end back end is already on the okay, so it will be established automatically. Okay, so this is by this way you can choose the JDBC. So again, the JDBC is what? JDBC acts as a bridge between front end, that is Java servlet or applet, any application. You have to fetch it into the API. So API is the application programming interface. Okay, the driver manager. Okay, driver manager, JDBC drivers are okay. So there are three things: SQL Server, Oracle, or any other data source. Okay, so this is the main thing. And if we take the first driver, example ODBC. So that is the type 1 driver. Type 1 driver is important driver. That is Java database connectivity with object database. Okay, ODBC data sources. From that you are going to connect the SQL Server. You are going to connect the front end with the back end. Okay, so among these four, all these four drivers are important. So first, so type 1 is oftenly it is used in the connection with the front end with the back end. Okay, now we can see this architecture diagram. So this architecture is important. You can just take the screenshot of this. Okay, so in this you can see from the Java application or from the Java application, just the request is given as a JDBC call. Okay, this request is given as JDBC call, and that request is given to this JDBC ODBC bridge driver, and this ODBC gives the object database. From the object database you have to add the any server. Okay, object database என்ன இருக்கும் ஆல்ரெடி இதுல பார்க்கலாம் கண்ட்ரோல் பேனல்ல ஆப்ஜெக்ட் டேட்டாபேஸ் ODBC இருக்கு. ODBC டேட்டா சோர்ஸ்ல it asks a domain. Okay, domain system name. Okay, DSN name. So இதுல database whether want to add Excel, Access, ODBC or SQL. இதுல remove பண்ணனும்னா இப்ப tally எனக்கு தேவையில்லை. If you want to remove means tally enter இல்ல. If you want to just click on remove, it will be okay. So driver cannot be found. So you can remove this. Simply if you want to add this, you can add whatever file you want, whatever file. If it is installed, only you have to install a MySQL or SQL Server, then only it will be shown. Okay, after this you can simply import. So similarly in this architecture also, this ODBC has this Oracle server, it has SQL server, it has a Sybase or servers. All these are server. Okay, okay, so these are connecting the front end with the back end. That is important in this JDBC ODBC bridge driver type 1 architecture. Okay, similarly if we see in this type 2 native API. Okay, it's a native application program. This is partly a Java driver. Okay, and the next type 3 driver is protocol. Okay, if you are using any protocols such energy opposite routing protocol. Okay, energy efficient routing protocol means type 3 driver will be suitable for you. Type 4 driver is directly it is connected to the pure Java driver will be directly connected to the database. Okay, so these are the various types. Okay, so these are various types of the drivers which are available. Now I will stop the screen sharing now.